Breaking news, the Trump administration has blocked a U.S. Department of Agriculture report showing a $49.5 billion deficit in agricultural trade products with the United States and the rest of the world due to his tariffs. The report was dated May 29th, and the report has been heavily redacted. Donald Trump held it up because he didn't want the world and didn't want the U.S. citizens and MAGA and others to see that because of his actions, farmers are going to lose billions and billions of dollars thanks to Donald Trump's trade policies.
U.S. farmers are regretting their vote for Donald Trump after their business suffers. Womp womp. Since China implemented their tariffs, farmers are suffering because soybean farmers, especially in the Midwest, are not being able to export as much as they're used to. I wonder why. Yet they voted for him anyway. They voted for him about 2 or 3 times, actually. I don't know how you thought voting for him would help you in your business when creating tariffs will probably hurt you. And he's said he's going to do this multiple times, but...
I have a simple message in this video, and that is screw the farmers. Not all farmers, but the farmers who voted for Donald Trump. And unfortunately, we know for a fact that the overwhelming majority of farmers in this country did vote for Donald Trump. And they deserve to get everything that they voted for. All the negative consequences that are coming their way, they deserve to get all of them. You know, Donald Trump and his tariffs are going to hurt farmers big time. The truth is, the people who supported Donald Trump, by and large, are going to be hurt by Donald Trump's policies far more than the people who did not vote for Trump. And farmers are no exception. You know, in the first Trump administration, he slapped massive tariffs on China. And of course, they responded, slapping massive tariffs on our products, specifically agricultural products.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we need to talk about a serious and expensive problem that's hitting American farmers hard, and it's tied directly to DT's trade war with China. A new report shows that US farmers are expected to lose a massive $49.5 billion this year. Yes, billions with a B. Let's break it down, talk about what it means and how we even got here in the first place. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Rosemary. Kindly consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we get to the video, let me play a few clips on the same and I'll be back with my commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of these videos.
They did so before in his first term, where he had to bail them out to the tune of about $30 billion because of his trade war and tariff war with China at the time. Still seeing the same thing now. China and many other countries have canceled contracts with the United States. They're looking outside the United States to purchase, and farmers and those that are employed on farms are going to pay the price for Donald Trump. There you have it. Love you for my Democrats and my MAGAs and my crazies and my cuckoos and my burned out labels. They want to hide everything, just like Ron DeSantis in Florida want to hide everything.
And farmers really took it on the chin, lost billions of dollars. And what did Donald Trump do? Well, he was running for re-election, didn't want to lose support from farmers. So he bailed them out with our tax money. We bailed them out. We bailed out the farmers for their losses. Sounds like socialism, doesn't it? Anyway, that's happening again in this term, and it's going to happen to a much greater extent in this term. And farmers are already talking about wanting a bailout. Well, screw that. No bailouts for these people. They voted for this. They deserve to suffer the consequences of what they voted for. They effed around, and they deserve to find out. So no, farmers, no socialism for you. I know most of you sit on your couches at night at the end of the day with Fox News blaring throughout the house. And you sit there and you rail against socialism. What's socialism? I'm sure most of those farmers couldn't explain to you what socialism is. It's basically anything Fox News tells them it is, and anything that they're opposed to is just socialism. Well, you know what? Might I suggest that you wanting bailouts is socialism. So I know you love socialism, farmers. You loved it in the first Trump administration, and you're demanding it now. But screw that, and screw you. No bailout.
You know, another example of Americans thinking that other parts of the world need them the most. Brazil is the #1 soybean import for China. They don't need the U.S. Brazil is steadily increasing the production year after year after year, while the U.S. has remained stagnant. And y'all thought Donald Trump getting in office will help y'all. You put somebody in office who directly hinders your business. I need these people to take a survey so I can understand why they make the decisions that they do. But again, womp womp. You put somebody in office because of reasons, and now you're paying the price because of those same reasons. You just thought they wouldn't affect you.
It seems that this is happening a lot with the Donald Trump administration. So I brought you guys a video recently about a farmer who was selling alfalfa, and he was realizing that because of the tariffs, they're going to lose their farm possibly because China is not buying their alfalfa right now. This next farmer, who says he's a Trump supporter, currently still a Trump supporter, wants us to know that we need to share his video because it needs to get out there so that Donald Trump knows what he's about to do is going to hurt small family farms. Check this shit out.
I'm a supporter of President Donald Trump. Voted for him in this election and the last and the one prior to that. However, President Trump is about to allow JBS, the world's most corrupt beef organization, to become publicly traded in America. President Donald Trump will be the president that allows for the complete destruction of the small, independent family farms and cattle ranches if he allows this to go through.
Newsflash. Donald Trump does not give a damn about you. But you know who gives even less of a damn about you? Myself and all the other liberals you thought you were owning when you voted for Donald Trump. What we got for you is a bunch of middle fingers, man. We're like, we don't care. We don't care if you lose your farm, bro. You voted for Donald Trump. You even said at the beginning of this video, I am a supporter of Donald Trump. Why the hell would we give a damn about your gripes? You're getting exactly what you voted for. I love when I see the memes and the conservatives out there saying, screw you liberals. This is exactly what I voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. I don't know why you're making this video. This should be a thank you video because this is what you voted for.
The SEC has already approved it. Now we're just waiting a mere few days for them to allow it on the stock exchange. And what's concerning is we haven't heard a word from the Secretary of Agriculture about this. We haven't heard any of the large cattle organizations that represent cattlemen speak out about this. They claim to represent cattlemen. The truth is they only represent the big guys. They're bought and paid for by the same organizations, JBS, Cargill, Tyson, National Beef, all the collusion that's happening. Go do a very simple search and you'll see the millions and millions and tens upon millions of dollars that these companies have been ordered to pay for collusion and price fixing, which has cost us our family farms and ranches. And what that costs us as the people who aren't family farms and ranches is a stable food system. As much as I'm a supporter of many of the other things that Trump is doing.
And there you have it. He's a supporter of many of the things Donald Trump is doing. And what he's talking about there is the hate and the bigotry. You see, he came for the bigotry. He came for the deportations. He came for the hate against the gay and trans community. But what he's getting out of it is possibly losing his farm, losing his shit, losing all the things that he worked so hard for. So here's the deal. Understand something. He wants...
So how did this all begin? It started when YTEA, after his election, started a trade war with China. He imposed heavy tariffs on Chinese goods, and in response, China hit back with its own tariffs, including on American agricultural products. Farmers who were used to selling soybean, pork, and other crops to China suddenly lost access to one of their biggest markets. It was like cutting off a lifeline. At the time, YTEA told everyone that this was a smart move. He said that tariffs would help the US by forcing China to play fair and boost American manufacturing. But for farmers, it backfired big time. And now, we are seeing just how bad it's gotten. According to this recent report, the US is expected to hit a record of $49.5 billion agricultural trade deficit. That means they are importing way more farm products than they are exporting. For context, the previous record was $31.8 billion. So this new number is a big jump. It's not just bad, it's the worst in history. And here's the kicker. Instead of helping farmers become stronger or more competitive, the trade war made them weaker. Other countries like Brazil stepped in and filled the gap. China started buying soybeans from Brazil instead of the US. And now, American farmers are struggling to win back those customers. What's even more upsetting is that the US Department of Agriculture and the YTEA administration actually trying to keep this report quiet. Only the technical data was released and the full written explanation was held back. Why? Probably because the truth would have made DT's trade policies look like a total failure. When a government hides bad news just to protect someone's political image, that's a big red flag. People deserve to know the truth, especially the farmers who are directly affected. One of the biggest victims in all of this is the soybean farmers. Before the trade war, China was buying massive amount of soybean from the US, but once the tariffs hit, exports dropped by over 97% in just 1 week. That's devastating, and the worst part is, even after some of the tension eased, China never came back in full force. They found new suppliers, and American farmers were left behind. And it's not just soybeans. Pork, corn, wheat, a lot of American crops that were once in high demand have seen sales drop or stagnate overseas. To cover up the damage, the Trump administration started handing out billions in bailout payments to farmers. But here's the thing, those payments were only a short-term bad aid. They didn't solve the actual problem, the loss of long-term trading relationship. You can't just throw money at a crisis and expect it to go away. What farmers really needed was stability, access to market, and honest leadership. It's easy to see why farmers are frustrated. Many of them supported DT, believing that his policies would help them. But now, years later, they are left holding the bill, a $49.5 billion bill, and it doesn't look like things are getting better anytime soon. It's especially hard because farming is not just a job. For many people, it's a way of life. These are not billion-dollar corporations. These are family-owned farms that have been around for generations. When they lose customers overseas, they don't just lose money, they risk losing everything. The real damage here goes beyond just dollars and cents. Trust between the US and China as trading partners has been broken, and rebuilding that trust takes years, maybe decades. Meanwhile, other countries are stepping in to take America's place. Once a foreign buyer finds a new supplier, they don't always come back. Plus, the rest of the world is watching. If they see the US as a reliable partner, they might take their businesses elsewhere too. That could lead even more losses in the future. So what can be done? First, there needs to be transparency. The government shouldn't be hiding reports just because they make someone look bad. Farmers need accurate information to plan for the future. Second, there needs to be better trade strategy. That means repairing relationship, opening new market, and avoiding harmful trade wars. If tariffs are used, they need to be smart, targeted, and come with a clear benefit, not just political posturing. And lastly, farmers need long-term investment in technology, sustainability, and infrastructure, so they can compete globally without relying on short-term bailouts. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Were you surprised by the report? Do you think farmers will ever fully recover from this? And do you think that this kind of news will change how people vote in the future? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.